Liverpool's crisis just took another shocking twist. Florian Wirtz under pressure, Salah's FIFA verdict looming, and Arne Slot battling for control at Anfield. Massive updates are breaking, and we're diving into all of them right now. If you love fast, reliable Liverpool news, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a breaking update from Reds Focus LFC. Florian Wirtz told he could be axed in January transfer window amid Liverpool woes. Liverpool are now in the midst of a really poor run of form, and one of their big summer signings, Florian Wirtz, has been warned he could be loaned out if he doesn't improve. Florian Wirtz is in a race against time to save his Liverpool career, according to DEEPENS, with the former Reds midfielder predicting he could be loaned out in January if he doesn't find form soon. The Germany star 22 joined the Premier League champions for what was a British record transfer fee of £116 million, before Liverpool eclipsed that on the final day of the summer transfer window to final Alexander Isak. However, neither Wirtz or Isak have hit the heights expected of them this season, with Arne Slot's side struggling. Slot himself is under pressure after overseeing a run of 9 defeats in 12 games. For Wirtz, scrutiny has grown over a dearth of goal contributions, with the player yet to score or assist a single goal in the Premier League. And Hamann reckons the former Bayer Leverkusen man has until Christmas to prove he can be a hit in England, or he runs the risk of an embarrassing loan exit in the new year. Florian Wirtz has had chances to perform, he told CoinPoker.com. He's had chances over the last 6 to 8 weeks where the team hasn't really fired since the start of the season. Even the games against Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Burnley were all games they probably didn't deserve to win, but they did, and he played in all of them. He's had the chance for the last 3 months to perform. What should make me believe he's going to do it now, because the team seems to be in disarray. It's not easy when you come in and there are cracks or problems within the team, and I don't know what it is or why it is. Hamann continued, I think he's got until Christmas now to show his worth. That is not easy because, as I said, the team is not functioning at the moment. If he doesn't do it from now until Christmas, I'm pretty sure that the club will get together with him and see what the best would be for both parties. Could he still leave Liverpool on loan in January? Yeah. Richard Keys has Steven Gerrard theory amid Arne Slot's fight for Liverpool job. No way. Steven Gerrard was in talks with Rangers over a return to manage at Ibrox earlier this season, and he is now being mentioned as a potential successor to Arne Slot at Liverpool. A theory has emerged as to why Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard may have turned down the Rangers job. The former Reds icon has been out of managerial work since leaving Saudi Pro League outfit Al Ettifaq back in January. Arne Slot is the current head coach at Liverpool, but has seen his position at Anfield come under pressure in recent days. The Reds have lost 9 of their last 12 matches in all competitions and are currently in 12th place in the Premier League table. Liverpool have also lost their last 3 matches by a 3-goal margin, conceding 10 goals across that run. As a result, speculation has been swirling about the Anfield hierarchy considering making a change, although it is understood that Slot's job is still safe for the time being. Gerrard has previously been tentatively linked with being Liverpool manager in the past, and the rumors have been ramping up amid the club's poor run of results. It was earlier in the season that the 45-year-old was reportedly close to returning to Rangers, but a move to the Scottish Premiership Giants never materialized as he ultimately pulled out of the running despite holding talks. Rangers went on to name Danny Roll as their new manager to replace Russell Martin, with Gerrard now working as a pundit. TV broadcaster Richard Keys has theorized that Gerrard may not have got the job at Rangers because of the possibility of replacing Slot at Liverpool on the horizon. There is no way Steven Gerrard didn't know about the probability of this upcoming opportunity when he turned Rangers down, Keys wrote on X on Thursday evening. Despite Gerrard being linked with replacing Slot as Liverpool manager, it is rather unlikely that the former midfielder will take the job at Anfield anytime soon. One reason would be due to tax, with Gerrard likely needing to pay a bill worth £10 million if he were to take a managerial job in the UK before April. Gerrard needs to remain outside the country for a full tax year to make sure that his earnings are tax-free. Gerrard is currently allowed to return to the UK for 91 days during the current tax year. As a result, if the Liverpool legend was to take on a managerial role in the UK before April, he would need to be in the country for longer than that and would breach the threshold. After watching Liverpool lose 4-1 to PSV in the Champions League in midweek, Gerrard offered his support to Slot amid the ongoing speculation. Each defeat, especially the manner of defeat, you become closer to the crisis, said Gerrard on TNT Sports. I don't like using the word crisis because a crisis to me is a club that needs years to get back to the top. I don't think Liverpool are at that point at all. They've still got magnificent players. This is still the majority of a squad that won the league a few months ago. So I think crisis is too strong. But you can't deny that this team is struggling massively. Slot needs to get the team back on track immediately, and West Ham on Sunday at the London Stadium is their next chance to get back to winning ways.
Arne Slot explains why he's being stopped from making Liverpool changes, almost impossible. Liverpool head coach Arne Slot was asked whether it was time to shake up his struggling side ahead of Sunday's important Premier League match at West Ham United. Arne Slot claims it is almost impossible to change his Liverpool master plan at present and has backed himself to once again bring the best out of his struggling players. The Reds are in the midst of their worst run of form in 72 years after suffering a dreadful 4-1 Champions League reverse at home to PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday evening. It was a 9th defeat in 12 games in all competitions, with Liverpool having slumped into the bottom half of the table just 6 months after romping to a record-equaling 20th championship. Slot's position as head coach has now come under intense scrutiny ahead of a potentially pivotal week of his tenure, with the trip to West Ham United on Sunday afternoon, followed by games at home to Sunderland and away against Leeds United. And the Dutchman believes that hectic schedule is preventing him from considering any drastic overhaul of his underperforming team. Is the question, should I change dramatically, said Slot when asked whether he needed to shake up his starting side. If, for example, you want another system with 5 defenders, that could be an issue. I don't even have 5 defenders. It suits the players best, the system we are playing now. They have played this system probably throughout their whole career, and there is hardly any training time for us. So it is almost impossible to change our complete idea about football if we play every 2 days. Remarkably, deposed champions Manchester City went through an even worse run this time last year when they won only 1 of 13 games, only to ultimately finish 3rd and reach the FA Cup final before embarking on another title challenge this term. And Slot has used that experience of Pep Guardiola's side as proof Liverpool can still salvage their tortuous campaign. I said already multiple reasons, and I can come up with an extra 5 or 6 for why we are on a run of form like this, but they will never be enough to make up for the results that we have, he said. I am not sure, but Pep will probably have said the same. For example, we had injuries last season as well, so it is not like this season we have injuries and last season we didn't, so that helped us with a better run of form. But indeed, the example of City can help because they have quality and we have quality. The best chance to come out of a situation like this is that we as a team and me as a manager bring the best out of these players again to bring us back to winning ways. If we didn't have the quality, we would have had a big problem. I think we have the quality and we have to bring the best out of them again. Defeat to PSV matched Liverpool's heaviest home loss in European competition and came just 4 days after an embarrassing 3-0 Anfield reverse to Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. And asked if he had now reached the lowest ebb of his 18-month Anfield reign, Slot said, "I have already thought a few times that we hit the worst point or the lowest point, because many times I have said, and actually I still feel this about Wednesday as well, that the score does not reflect the way we played. So every time you are thinking we can keep playing the same but hopefully do better, because this team should and can play better than we do. Make no mistake about that. It is not that we perform at the highest standards we can perform at, but you should expect that, given the quality we have, that we have reached the lowest point a few times.
I know the pressure Florian Wirtz is under, but you must perform at Liverpool. Florian Wirtz has had a slow start to his Liverpool career following his summer move from Bayer Leverkusen, and the spotlight on him has been extra intense due to the team's struggles. Florian Wirtz has been backed to come good by a former Liverpool player who also arrived at the club with high expectations on him. Wirtz has had a miserable start to his Anfield career, failing to register a goal or an assist in the Premier League since his transfer from Bayer Leverkusen. He has missed the last couple of games due to injury, and Liverpool was beaten heavily in both of them, confirming that the Wirtz conundrum isn't the only problem that the Reds have. Ex-Liverpool winger Vladimir Smisser gave his verdict on Wirtz's struggles, tipping the German's quality to eventually shine through. Florian Wirtz is a fantastic player, and I believe he will show his qualities sooner rather than later, Smisser told Boyle Sports. He's a great player, and the pressure is certainly there, but that's part of the game. The high transfer fee, of course, isn't his fault. It was a decision between the clubs. But this is the world of football. It's not always Christmas. This is war. Football games are war, and he must show he's a warrior. He needs to demonstrate that he can play, even in the Premier League. I saw him in the game against Newcastle where he was being tackled hard. That was a real test, a good test, like an old British game from the 80s or 90s. It was really tough. He seemed surprised that everyone was kicking him and giving him a hard time, but this is the Premier League, and I think he will adapt. It will take some time, and he's taking his time, but the pressure is constant. This is the Premier League. You signed for Liverpool, a Premier League winner, for a lot of money. This is the pressure. You need to deal with that. I know this from my own experience. When I signed for Liverpool, I replaced Steve McManaman. People expected me to replace him from the first game. It was difficult. I was under pressure. I felt the pressure especially from the fans. But this is Liverpool. You need to perform. That's just how it is. Smisser thinks that Liverpool's malfunctioning system is currently causing Wirtz some problems. At Bayer Leverkusen, everything revolved around Wirtz. At Liverpool, we play a slightly different system, and it seems he is currently searching for his space and best position within the team. His performances in both the Champions League and Premier League are consistent, so you can't say he's only struggling in the Premier League and excelling in the Champions League. The Premier League is the best league in the world, and Florian Wirtz is recognizing the difference between Liverpool and his previous club. He is definitely a quality player with good touch and vision. However, as an offensive player who cost a lot of money, people, including myself, expected him to perform better for Liverpool. Despite this, I still have confidence in him and hope he will soon show his full potential, find his rhythm, and combine better with his teammates. I loved what he showed in Germany and was very excited when he signed for Liverpool. I'm still excited that he's playing for us.
Liverpool awaits FIFA verdict on Mohamed Salah decision ahead of West Ham game. Mohamed Salah will miss several Liverpool games in December due to his participation in the Africa Cup of Nations, but it remains unclear when the Reds will have to release him by. Liverpool is awaiting a verdict on when it must release Mohamed Salah to the Egypt national team ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations. The tournament begins on December 21st, with Egypt's first game coming the following day. But Liverpool will have to let Salah leave earlier than that for a pre-tournament training camp. Egypt is also in action in the Arab Cup ahead of AFCON, kicking off its campaign on December 2nd, but it is not mandatory for Liverpool to release Salah for that event. Egypt has opted to choose a B squad for the Arab Cup, which mainly consists of Egypt-based players, with the main squad's full focus firmly on AFCON. The main squad has a friendly against Nigeria on December 7th, and Egypt's manager wants Salah to play in it, but Liverpool is hopeful of keeping hold of Salah until after the Premier League game against Brighton on December 13. FIFA is expected to demand that clubs release their players 2 weeks before the start of the tournament, which would be December 7th, and would see Salah miss games against Inter Milan on December 9th, as well as the aforementioned Brighton game. Salah will definitely miss Liverpool's games against Tottenham, Wolves, and Leeds over the festive period, and his availability for any of Liverpool's games beyond that will depend on how far into the tournament Egypt progresses. The Reds may not miss Salah as much as they might have had AFCON taken place a year ago, when the 33-year-old was at the top of his game. Salah has had a disappointing 2025-26 season so far, scoring just 4 goals for Liverpool from open play. Despite Salah's struggles, former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard rubbished calls for Liverpool to drop Salah after Wednesday's heavy loss to PSV Eindhoven. Gerrard told TNT Sports, "What is the other option if Salah is dropped? Chiesa is more of an impact player, and I think it sends the wrong message to everyone. Liverpool is in a real difficult moment. Salah is a senior player, vice-captain, and has been the talisman. He has been an iconic figure here. That doesn't mean he should start every single game, and you can rest him or take him off in games, but whoever is managing Liverpool would start Mo Salah. Liverpool needs its best players on the pitch."